What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Peace Dealer. I was wrong about Biden, y'all. I apologize. I thought this was not a good candidate. Turns out the dude is a master wizard and magician. And props to you. Doesn't matter how dope I think President Trump is. Ain't no dead people ever vote for him, but they voted for Biden. So Biden must got it going on, and I just don't know it. This dude's so magical that, magical ballots appear for him overnight in an election that never lasts over a day. But they just have to tell you that mail-in ballots were the reason because of coronavirus, and you're going to believe it because, all you people saying the election was rigged. No, clearly he's magic. That's why 6,000 plus votes in Michigan automatically flipped from Republican to Democrat. Not because it's rigged. You guys are just sore losers. Now, if thousands of votes switched from Biden to Trump, yeah, y'all would say it's rigging. But if Biden does it, he's just magical, guys. So let's just accept that, he's the new leader.
What's up, party people? To another episode of Who Asked You podcast. I'm your host, Duty Too Groovy, and today we have a very, very, very special guest in the building. What's up, Peace Dealer?
What it do, Studi? Appreciate you, bro. Studi
No problem, man. Before I let you introduce yourself, I want to say this. He is a master of astrology, okay? Nobody on these YouTube streets break stuff down and have intuitive knowledge of what's going on cosmically and on this earthly plane more than the Peace Dealer, okay? I got to give his flowers while he's here, all right? So it's definitely an honor to have you up on my channel.
Likewise. And I mean, I've outright said, I'm not black, I'm Archangel Michael. But that being said, I really still do honor as creatives, black creatives getting together and collaborating and once again, gaining appreciation. So I appreciate you having me on the platform. I didn't realize how important it is that we're doing what we're doing because we couldn't really do this 70 years ago or 100 years ago. So it's
right.
Really great to mark that progress and appreciate you once again. I'm honored to be able to provide daily coverage and just bring more of this consciousness of the stars down here. As above, so below.
That's facts. Yeah. And it's like, I feel like it's a surge and a well-deserved surge of black intellectualism happening right now. And we are, especially as, I know that we're spiritual beings, but as men, we are showing a better way, a better way of communication, a better way of forming and discovering information, because it's a lot of negative connotations on being black, period, but just being men. And I feel like this generation and what we're doing is changing that paradigm, changing that image, So
that's definitely true.
Shout out everybody in the chat. Make sure that y'all hit that like and notification bell, and show my man some love. If you have not subscribed to the Peace Dealer, you need to, because you're missing out on a lot of insight. Okay, and he's funny. Bro, your skits are amazing. I was going through all your videos and you had me dying laughing. I don't know if you remember the skit, but you were having like an actor show like the different ways that different signs wake up.
Yeah, that was my skit I ever shot on my channel.
Yes, and I died laughing because the Scorpio part when you wake up in dread life. That's definitely me every morning because I'm a Scorpio.
Word, so, Scorpio gang. Happy birthday, by the way. That's what's up.
Thank you. I'm actually a Libra Scorpio cusp. My birthday is on October 23rd. So yeah, I'm like right there. That's awesome. But I got some questions for you. How long have you been into astrology? Like, when did you start your studies? What made you interested?
I always love telling this story. I would say 2012 was when I really started approaching it as a profession. Before in 2011, I was just really watching horoscope videos and
starting to get into that. Before that, I didn't even know anything about astrology. I had no idea. I just knew like basic superficial stuff about science, but I didn't really know all the science. And that was because, especially coming out of 2010 into 2011, I was ready to become a Christian, like a theologian. Like I really wanted to get, my word. And that's what slowly but surely led me to astrology, because in studying the word, at least intellectually, I realized on the intellectual basis of the word of God being the inerrant, you know, uh, uh, words inspired by man in the Bible or inspired by God in the Bible, I realized due to how it was, rewritten before there was a printing press and translation, having to go to different languages, and then eventually there'll be a printing press. You can't call the Bible the inerrant word of God. You can't really take this book and, even though there's wisdom in it, you can be enriched by what you read in Proverbs, Ecclesiastes. You can't really use this book as a tool to demonize other people who gain wisdom from other customs and cultures. And this is before I realized that the Bible comes from astrology. So
Right.
shout out to Young Pharaoh. He has a very awesome lecture on that. And it definitely speaks a lot to the nature of how I feel astrology brought me onto the path, almost
Mhm.
like the universe works through us. So like really in realizing, okay, Christianity isn't what I thought it was. This is what opened me, because before I thought it was of the devil. So I would never really kind of venture there. This is what opened to me to now start watching horoscopes and to eventually be led to Soul Garden. Shout out to Christopher Witecki. Um, and that was before the Leo King was still just David Palmer, and he would do a daily horoscope. And I had gotten astrology readings from both of them 2012. At the time, I was looking for a personality profiler, and I was in the Myers-Briggs. I thought that was it. And I had got my natal chart read, and that's when everything opened up. Like before, I just thought it was zodiac signs. This is when, oh, I got a moon sign, I got a rising sign. What? And then these people are reading my charts and telling me intimate stuff about my life. I was like, okay, I'm sold. Like this is what I'm meant to do. Sign me up. And that's really how my journey started. I created my YouTube channel before I became the peace dealer, and I was doing horoscopes and reading tarot.
And that's amazing that you said that, because my next question was how important is knowing your natal chart? Because I feel like natal, like knowing your nodes and how each planet affects you, that's like high. I call that high astrology,
Right.
because horoscope is like elementary, that that's just putting your toe in. But for you to know the natal signs and charts, and then understand how, like, it's so much the planets and their energies and the degrees. It's such an intricate science. So how important is natal charts in life for you?
Oh my gosh, it's one of the most important. So if knowing your biology and genetics is important to understand your DNA sequence, your natal chart is your cosmic blueprint. And so knowing your natal chart will let you know details. I mean, down to the nature of your death. And now that I'm going through my Saturn return, it's because of my natal chart that I've been able to understand and accept facets of myself that also help me understand and accept facets of Christianity and God that I have not been able to for so long. And it was my natal chart that helped me understand it, which is why I'll go so hard to unlock the nature of natal charts for people. The natal chart and astrology actually lets you know your superpowers, and it keys you into the reality that a lot of the deception in this world stunts and holds back so many people. The natal chart will help you understand yourself in a way that even postmodern science is catching up to. So I mean, as one thing that I love about it is it's a language. I've been reading my own natal chart for 8 years. And for the first time in 8, 9 years, I finally truly understand it, even though I've been looking at it over and over, and every day you learn something new. So like when I started reading it, I'd learn about the planets. That was like learning about each words and what they mean. Versus now, 8 years later, I speak the language. Now I put the words together and I know the narrative. The natal chart literally shows you the narrative of your story arc. I ran my progress chart, which is an extension of that. And when the moon was in my ninth house, I went back to college and I was like, damn, like this lets you know this has to be predetermined in a sense if it's good, that on point. So I mean, the natal chart is just the gift that keeps on giving. It's the one thing that if you know about yourself, you will have you'll have a treasure that no one can take from you. And so I just want to bring that awareness out to the world, so people can stop being depressed or worry and realize, you got untapped potential. Here, let's show you. Let's show you what you can do. Let's show you who you are. And yeah, very, very, very key. Very important, very pivotal.
Now, I know this is personal, so if you don't want to tell the audience, you don't have to. But what is your big three?
Oh, okay, that's cool. I'm Taurus rising, Capricorn moon, and Gemini sun.
Okay. Right. I rocks with Gemini, Joe. I've been finding like this year, like since 2019, I've been meeting a lot of cool ass Gemini. So
that's what's up.
I'm putting your website up, and towards the end of this interview, I'll put your website up on the screen and let you tell the people about it. But I just want to get this scrolling so people can see it. My next question for you is how does cosmic energies affect our individual biofields? Because for people who don't know, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, a part of the natal chart is kind of mapping out what energies your soul went through before it came to your vessel, before it came to your body. Right. And so automatically before we're born, we are already influenced by the cosmic planets, the cosmic bodies, right? So how does cosmic energies affect your biofield?
Which is like such a stunning question, because for some weird reason, you'll have people say that the planets don't affect you. The planets outside don't affect you, which is a complete lie. Everything affects everybody. Like the actions that I'm taking here is affecting someone all the way across the world just because of the space I'm occupying, right? So everything is connected. But, it's more important to look at this as cycles, because what makes astrology accurate isn't really so much the planets affecting you as much as it is, or the constellations, as much as it is the cycles. Like the planets do influence you, but more in a sense where you embody this energy. It's more so frequencies, right? Nikola Tesla said, we got to look at the universe like frequencies and vibrations. And so you can tap into these frequencies that these energies vibrate in. Your natal chart helps you know how directly to harness this and how they harness or impact you regardless. So we know that each energy, each planet is a sentient energy. It's not just an inanimate object. It's a living being, right? A higher being, a god of some sort. So the best way to understand how transits work and astrology is it's more math. It's the reason why the sun in Scorpio is going to be the way it is isn't really because it's in the constellation of Scorpio. It's because you're an incarnation of a mathematical angle. Your energy is the signature of that angle from 0 degrees to, I want to say, 210 degrees. If 180 is Libra, 210 is going to be Scorpio. So it's more a mathematical signature that affects the temperament due to the season it's part of And the we know of solar prominences, and that will also affect one's biofield as
And
well.
can I put this in there too? That's why, like, people have to understand that a lot of these religious figures are personified. It's really personified mathematics, because an angel is really just an angle of light, and that's the photon. And each angle of light is going to hit everybody different based on their astrological placements.
That's facts.
And it's like that's why shit like sun gazing and meditation and like okay, I'm a water sign. I'm a Scorpio. So it's peaceful for me to be in the water, by water. I'm drawn to water. And it's a reason for that. It's a reason why, like, a fire sign got an angry ass, like, temperament. Like, It's not just talking. It's like, this is like a real deal science, yo. And
right.
I love it.
And it's very interesting to see how suppressed it is when it just has so much knowledge. But I think that's what I love about this age, because I don't think it will be suppressed anymore. I think it's going to be out there.
Oh yeah, because I literally every day we've been seeing the water getting poured out. That Aquarian age. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the water getting poured out. The veil is like slowly just dissipating, and like I'm not. I know that, like, me and somebody else was talking about this, how thin the veil between the spiritual world and the physical world is. Can you speak on that a little bit? Why it seems like the spiritual world, whether negative or positive, those entities are like more prevalent? Is it just because I know we're at the cusp of Aquarian age. We're not really in it yet, but
That's facts. We're still in that cusp where we're coming into Aqua, but we're coming out of Pisces. So
right.
We're coming into technology, knowledge, and internet, and we're coming out of bullshit religion and deception and belief systems. So we're coming out of belief and more into knowledge. And so, yeah, I mean, like, the to add what you said with the angels, the four main angels in astrology, Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, and Raphael, they're really just angles. They're the four cardinal directions. So, in answering your question, a lot of the mythology is drawn from math, and we know there's nothing new under the sun. So the wisdom of astrology is in cycles. Cycles, everything. You can track cycles, you will know what's happening. And so that's really, to answer your question, when we look into the cycles of these energies, that's really what's going to reveal more of this wisdom. And could you ask what you asked again, just to make sure I heard it right?
Oh, my original question was, how does cosmic energies affect our individual biofields? And I asked that because I was going to, after you answered, which you answered amazingly, I just had to add that part in. I was going to talk about because I'm sure you know about the Schumann resonance.
Oh, my bad. That's what you asked. You asked about the veil. So
Oh yeah, that question, yeah.
And that's a very, 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 very important question, because we need to look at Neptune. Neptune, when we think of the veil, because I had a wrong sense of the veil until I understood Neptune and Pisces, because I used to think reality was just this physical reality, but this material realm is just an aspect of reality. You also have the astral realm. You also have the etheric realm. You got the causal realm, and we connect with the astral realm through Neptune and Pisces, this imaginary, abstract sense of potential with which we can draw from and bring to reality. So when we think of the veil, we think of the pre-existence of the split worlds that used to exist as one. And in the creation of this material realm, we needed a veil to split the material and the infinite potential. And so it's very interesting to see now, we're about to, Saturn, representing the Grim Reaper, is getting ready 2025 to conjunct Neptune and cut the veil and then go into Aries and institute a new sense of spiritual sight. And so the thinning of the veil is thinning the illusion of separation and thinning that sense to help us realize how we're all connected while still being in different places, sensing potential outside of time and space, connecting deeper to the astral realm. But we know that Neptune's in Pisces, so that cycle of the veil is ending, and the whole new, maybe we won't have a veil, maybe we will have a veil. I feel like coming into Pluto in Pisces, that's killing the veil, and the spirits and the ghosts that we weren't necessarily able to interact with that much is good. Like, we're going to see more paranormal activity because it makes sense now that we're at the end of age. The veil is going to be gone, and this is going to really, end this whole illusion of separation to a degree. I still want to open it up for, I don't want to say that's exactly it, but that's my working ideology behind that right now. Sure.
I can feel that. I definitely feel that. I wanted to go into because on election night, I'm pretty sure you know about the Schumann resonance, like the heartbeat of the earth or whatever, and how they like measure that. On election night, it was literally at a standstill. Like, it was like literally flatline, and yeah, it was crazy. I still got the screenshot and everything. It was amazing. And I just wanted to bring that up because it gives credence to how like, people don't think that Earth has a consciousness.
Right.
But Earth literally breathes in and out. Like, it has a cycle of 8 beats. Like, that's its heart. That's its rhythm. And we're literally connected. And any like cosmological disturbance that the Earth feels, we feel, and vice versa.
Right. I'm not gonna lie, election night was dead silent too. It just felt like a ghost town. Like, everyone was waiting.
Yes.
That is profound. I want to get into that and gematria. I'm still not really versed in both of those, but they're very interesting.
I want to say, okay, Kiki Akhenaten said, "Is that why my ears were ringing?" I feel like a lot of people have been saying that their ears have been ringing. My ears have been ringing like months ago, but not recently. But was that happening to you, or have you heard people say that? Because a lot of people have been saying that.
I know personally, my ears were ringing the other day. For me, it happens few and far between because I'm learning to. As a Gemini, I'm so in my head, so I'm so mentally stimulated. I'm learning to shut the hell up and honor my earth and just be still. And maybe I have more of those experiences, but I have been noticing that beep, and apparently that's for clairaudience, but to actually sense it is just interesting. It's like,
yeah,
like, wow, it makes it real for sure.
And I feel like, and I feel like people have been like, with their actions, with their words, just with their vibrations, literally, people are choosing sides between what, what side of history they're going to be. And I'm not even just talking about Biden and Trump, but you see with this great awakening happening, there is no excuse for anybody to say, I didn't know. So
that's it right there. That's facts. That's facts. Because there are a lot of people that's gonna say that. There's a lot of people gonna say that.
Yes, like
right. Yes. With the mask, with the pandemic, with the voting, like your decision was made. So I love how you said that. That's facts.
Yeah, everybody's saying like their ears, but like, that's crazy. Hey, but that's for the chosen though. I'll be trying to tell people like the next level. What we going into 4D?
No, that's a good question. So, I mean, some people say we're going into 4D, into 5D. I believe we're coming into a greater 5D awareness. I just don't like to talk about dimensions like that because we're multidimensional. So I feel like we'll always be in this 3D, right? Because that's how we ground it. But I feel like, if anything, we're coming into just more understanding of how to integrate higher dimensional awareness into now. I swear to God, I just heard my ears ring. That's crazy. It went faint, so I don't know if we're connected.
That's great.
Right. But yeah, I mean, one thing you said that I love is that for those of you who are chosen, right? For those of you who are leading forward, you're the leader. I think that's something we forget. Like, we're chosen to lead forward. So we don't, it's not about having people follow us. It's about forging the way forward. It's about failing forward. It's about making the mistakes so that you leave a trail for people to follow behind. Because we're stepping into a frontier that I don't think our ancestors have even stepped into. So like, you're not supposed to have all the answers. We're going to discover that, and you just want to embrace that.
That's facts. That's fact. And I will say this before I go on to the next question. I really do feel like we are the upgraded versions of our ancestors. Like, whatever person we were in our past life, we are the upgraded version because we walk with no fear. Right. Like, I'll say this, even past revolutionary people weren't as outspoken as we are. Even as much as they were doing, we literally expose government documents. We literally talk about hidden sciences in the occult and don't care about none of that. It's the truth is the truth. And I feel like that's what sets us apart from our past selves or our ancestors, because we're taking it to the next level.
And to add to that, I would say even to the older generation, because I saw a meme like that where it's like, especially Pluto Scorpio, like, we say the stuff that the older generation blindly believes. We're rebelling against it. Like, we're asking questions. Like, we're not just going to believe it. And it's creating tension because this stuff that's just the way life is. And we're like, no, it's not.
No, it's not. You know what makes me happy though? The work that we're doing now, the next generation after us is going to blow us out the water.
Yeah.
They are going to be like, those indigo children are going to blow us out of the water, yo.
I wonder if they're going to look at us and the older generation like, man, you guys have a long way to go. Like,
right. we going to be weak sauce to them, for real. Like, right. Yeah, but was you floating though? Was you floating on live? That's what I want to know.
You saw it right now, the chair or what?
I would not be surprised, and I'm saying without technological help, if either next generation or the generation after that, they'll be telepathically speaking, because we're starting to do it now.
Exactly. There's actually telepathic channels. So everything that you said is evidenced through Uranus and Neptune and Aquarius, and then Pluto and Aquarius. That's going to be 2024. So that all starts with us, because we're building through the physiological channels, us bringing awareness of this. A lot of kids born in the 2000s, they're already naturally telepathic, but they're in a society that reinforces their abilities as mental illness. I love NLE Choppa right now. NLE Choppa is part of that indigo generation. He's Scorpio. He's all on Twitter talking about, I'm trying to tell you, we got psychic abilities. Y'all trying to think I'm crazy. And that generation is ready to go. He's born 2002. They have superpowers. Like, they got Uranus and Neptune and Aquarius past that. And that is a collective integration of cosmic telepathy that through the collective conscious connects everyone through a hive sorted mind, whether they're conscious or unconscious of it. And so we are entering a telepathically advanced society, especially that Pluto Aqua. So I love that you said that, because, yeah, I mean, they got it like that, but it's important to honor we are paving the way towards that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm honored, definitely, to be a part of that too.
That's facts. Because I've always felt, and a lot of people who are on this same frequency, they always say that, felt like outcasts, felt like we're not a part of whatever this is. Whatever this is, we're not really a part of this. And I've always felt like I wasn't, like, this not me. It's crazy. Okay, so we blazed through that. Do you think astrology is an oversaturated field of study? And the reason why I asked you that is because I was watching one of your videos, and you were saying, like, how because people either only know the basic of, like, tarot and stuff like that, or like they play like they know what they're talking about, that astrology and tarot and divination and stuff isn't taken serious.
Oh, absolutely. And that is actually in due part of society, because they have not allowed, because if you think about astrology as a practice and craft, it's existed longer than most sciences. That's something that's not acknowledged. Astrology is the one true science. It's literally the oldest science. It's
Yeah, the
what
Dogon tribe. I don't mean to cut you off, but the Dogon tribe.
Dogons. You said it right now. Appreciate you. Right, like they were able to map the stars out, and so it's crazy how Bill Nye can tell you that the Babylonians created astrology when Dogon's reason for it. But other than that, I used to be mad at that, but then I realized this is what happened to rap. When everyone started to get into rap and start to be a musician, this is what happens usually with most fields. And there is the nature of fraud in psychic arts has always been rampant. This is what allowed skeptics to throw us under the bus with fallacies, to be like, see, these people are frauds, so that just means you're all frauds. And the reason why this exists is, if I want to be a doctor, I can be Dr. Love, I'm going to go to jail because I don't have a license. If I want to be a lawyer, I need a license. I need to pass a bar exam. We don't have an official accreditation. Anyone can just pick up a book and become an astrologer. That's why I always say my story, because astrology called me. Okay, like I didn't just decide, like I decided I wanted to get into astrology, but this consciousness enlightened me. This happened during Jupiter going through my first house, enlightening me to who I am and what I was meant to do. So, you'll see certain Christians be like, oh, divination is bad, tarot is bad. And it's not so that it's bad. Nothing's good or bad. Were you called into it or not? If you're not called into this path and you're not anointed, then you have to be responsible for the negative stuff with this path. Psychic attacks, demon interactions, you know what I'm saying? Thankfully, I'm protected because I'm using these skills to help align people in truth and synthesize balance, light, and dark. So yeah, there is going to be a massive. We are literally like 3 celebrity cosigns away from everybody and their mother being a master astrologer. And seriously,
right? And the crystal connoisseur.
and it's both good and bad. It's good because we do want to see people come into this knowledge. The reason why it will be troubling is just like anything that's popular, you know what I'm saying? Hip hop was so pure. You feel me? Like you had the greatest artists that stood for a message. Then it got popular. Everyone wanted to be a rapper. And then, the corporations grabbed a hold of it and it just became less from what it was. We're going to see this. It's already happening with spirituality. When spirituality becomes pop culture, it's less the wisdom. It's now more about popular ideals. It's more about making these modalities cool when it's not about being cool. It's about discovering yourself. It's about going into the ugliness of yourself. So you are going to see saturation. And for us, this is great because it's going to separate who's really, really about it versus the vast amounts of people who, are going to be using it to deceive people. Because we don't have institutions to accredit, anyone can just become a cold reader. I mean, when I was practicing reading on Keen, I would go through a lot of psychics, and a lot of psychics just tell you what you want to hear. And they get amazing reviews like, oh my gosh, this person understands me. Whole time they're full of shit. They're just telling you what you want to hear. So, this is why I'm glad we're doing what we do, so we can help teach people, how do you know what's a good reading or not? And like, that's why I love what we do, because we're paving the way for these kids, man. Like we're the reason why astrology will be taken serious is because of, people like us doing our part, putting that awareness, bringing it out. The one thing that we need is to create universities, schooling institutions, and official, we have enough astrologers now where we can come together as a board and certify people so that Right, so that you know you're not dealing with the fraud. I know certain people who are using this, they're very knowledgeable, but they hit on women on reading. It's like you're not a professional. Just because you know it doesn't mean you can do it professionally.
And everybody isn't everybody is not a teacher. That's even with knowledge.
Right.
Everybody isn't meant to teach, and you could lead somebody astray and leave them lost because you don't know what you're talking about, or you don't fully believe in what you're saying. You know, so
or you could be knowledgeable and versed, but you're just not, like you just said, you're just not meant to teach. Maybe you're meant to do something else. So you also have to acknowledge if this is your path or not, and this makes good money. So you're going to see a lot of people get into it for money, and this is not like carpenting. This is not like being
right.
like, this is a spiritual path. So,
and I don't know about like it's in it. I think it's just part of my journey because I keep getting like angel numbers and stuff telling me like it's time to monetize your stuff. But it still feels awkward when I ask people, like when I be like, oh, here's my Cash App, or oh, pay for this lecture. A real teacher is gonna still have that little nagging or give a lot of free knowledge because we just want people to know.
Right. Which
like it's a lot of people who just want to come up. But,
exactly. Yeah.
Like,
and I know what caused me to feel like that is because I learned about Jesus not ever even having a home. And so you get indoctrinated to believe these spiritual figures go out there and give away their wisdom for free. That was an old age. They weren't in a postmodern age that was commercialized where you had to, you know what I'm saying? Jesus back then could couch surf with people. He can stay with people at their home while he does, and he still worked as a carpenter. Jesus still had a 9 to 5. A lot of people don't know that. He worked as a carpenter and then did ministry by night. So, the whole notion of a lot of people feel entitled to spiritual wisdom. And you give your time, you give your value. So, it made me realize that, I mean, if someone needs the help, you'll know who to help for free, but definitely value the time.
And I am trying to destroy the notion of being broke and spiritual goes hand in hand. Like, you shouldn't have to be scraping pennies just because you are connected.
Exactly.
Like that just don't make sense. But
the wisdom is free, but the time isn't, because nothing is free. Everything occurs has an opportunity cost. It's the principle of economics. So if I give you a free reading, technically you're still paying for it, because the time that you had this free reading with me, you could have done anything else. So nothing is free.
Right.
Yeah.
Profits need to profit. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing.
I'll feel you on that though. Even if not with money, even if it's with knowledge or wisdom.
No, that's facts. Or even just like I feel like the lowest highest donation you could give is just sharing a video or speaking to somebody and be like, check this person out.
Sharing
they cold with it. Like that's charity, you feel me? Because you gotta think about it, even in the laws of Ma'at and the commandments, you're supposed to give to charity.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of us esoteric YouTubers give charity every time we come online and speak and give knowledge for free.
Absolutely. It's free. It's free wisdom. Right. That's facts. And it's really just your time. So I totally agree with that. And, I think we're headed into a community and society. The positive is this last decade, whoever was chosen to lead, like, we're coming into our self-realization. We're coming into our power. And now we're getting ready to come together and create something that can't be broken. And it's going to be so lit.
I feel like me and you should have a conversation about trying to start or find a lot of intellectuals to start these mystery schools for 2021.
Yeah,
I think we need to have that conversation off camera, because I think that'd be definitely fire.
That totally. I have like 5 people in my head already. Oh, we could.
Listen, I got a list. I definitely got a list, Joe. Um, so it is said that the skies tell a story. Can you expound on the cosmic implications of our current events? Like what planets are doing what? Because the deception of the Biden and all that stuff. Can you break that down? How like in the cosmos, how that looks?
Yeah. Okay. So great question. Because it's very important to understand. Because sometimes we can get so caught up in what's happening now, we forget it's a continuation of a current narrative in a cycle. So it's fascinating to me. Everything happening now, because I had to catch myself. I was like, the way I'm reacting to what's happening now, I was reacting to stuff back in 2012 when we were coming into these conspiracy theories,
Yeah,
keeping that same energy, like, oh no, that's not it, versus people who made the decision to not be afraid to alienate themselves and embrace truth. The same people who are attacking you like you were believing in conspiracy theories then are the same people talking about Joe Biden won the election now. It's crazy. Like it's slowly but surely at each and every time. If you think about this nature of the cycle, it's a culmination of all of that. Because if you believe all of that, you made this decision. If you don't believe all of that, you fell into a narrative, you believe this other decision. So that's why we don't even, like you said, we don't even need to focus it specifically on the election. What's happening now is correlating this Neptune and Pisces cycle, which is, I think, kind of like going to the dentist and getting laughing gas to disassociate you from reality so that you can go through major change. And
right.
so this also connects you with higher aspects of yourself, but we can't get too far lest we get delusional and think, oh, I'm the God among other people. We still have to also be grounded, right? And connect these facets of ourselves. So what we're seeing is the parable of the wheats and tares play out, coming into the end of this cycle and leading into next year, which we can say, by the way, the apocalypse cycle kicked off 2021.
Yeah,
And I did definitely speak of the 7-year age of darkness coming out of 2020 to 2027, where we're establishing 3 pillars of light. So this is now coming at a head with Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn, and Capricorn. Remember, 1776 was the last time Pluto was in Capricorn. So now that Pluto is back for the first time, is getting ready to go 27 degrees, America is literally fighting among the principles that established the integrity of the republic in the first place. It's a literal war. And we're breaking through into transforming, you know what I'm saying? If you think about the origins of this nation alone, the people who died, the bodies who were stolen, the negativity, the positivity, nothing is truly evil. You've seen America, which is amazing. America's a transformer. It's Aqua Moon Cancer. You've seen America transform through those odds in order to really come into a much, 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 much more integrative, powerful sense of community and unity, where we've transcended more out of racism. It's still there, but we're much more coming into, I don't want to say superficial unity, but a way where we can realistically address this. We're coming out of the corruption into revealing and exposing this corruption. And that's really because humanity as a whole is getting ready to integrate from divided states and countries into a one world where we acknowledge the differences of our cultures and we start to integrate more interracially.
right.
And that's going to threaten some people, that's going to benefit certain others. But what we're seeing is coming out of this age of deception and coming into this knowledge. And the main facet of this, which is why you're dealing with, influences that want to alter our DNA, is because this is all about the great awakening of the collective.
Yep.
Supernatural ability only happened at an individual level back in the day, where it'll be that one person who attained enlightenment and was able to individually circle that into the collective. Now these people have breeded and have children, and you have also mastered your ancestry. Now we're at a level for the first time ever where collectively people are awakening this, and we're getting ready to push the envelope. This is why they want us divided. This is why they need the deception to have us fighting each other. This is why it's so hard to find the truth, because it's forcing you to go within and connect with that source. So I went all over the place, but yeah, very.
So let me
very,
ask you this, and I ask everybody this when we have these types of conversations. I always believe that not only just that there will be a black exodus, but I mean just a righteous exodus. Period. Do you think it would be more like all of the righteous people will separate from those who are willfully being indoctrinated and want, because the same, let's be honest, the same people who are pushing for the mask will be the same people begging for the mark of the beast. Like, let's just be real about it. So do you think that we will intermingle within that space and it be a constant struggle, or do you think there will be an exodus where we live in a kind of mutually balanced structure where we don't rock with them and they stay away from us, or our factions are just warring but there's a mutual respect? Like, what do you think? What do you personally think? Because I personally think it'll be the warring thing a little bit, because I don't think the people who want control will ever relinquish that.
Absolutely. No, it's absolutely right. And you asked the most important question, because it's one that's been prophesied in almost all ancient texts. And there is an exodus. Like, you have to think the reason why certain people are waking up and others aren't isn't because other people are more special than others. It's the purity of your heart. It's the actions that you're taking that are aligning you to deeper wisdom of yourself. You're not surrounding yourself with liars or negative influences that take away from yourself. So it's your own integrity that leads you here. That's what makes you chosen. So, and I really feel like a lot of these narratives were twisted to make out these enemies as more powerful than they are. They're not powerful at all. You're powerful. We're not weakly. We don't need to run. We're going to fight, and we're going to kick ass. There's a whole millennium. I feel like the age of Aquarius is an age of victory. So there is going to be that tribulation period where we will separate and gather ourselves. But I totally see us laying that smackdown on that old force and then bringing in the new generation to create the new world. It's gonna be us that confronts this evil, and not think about that, because we're so used to looking at movie screens and seeing older officials handle this. It's gonna be us.
Yeah, and it needs to be.
Right. And we're going to play our part, and we're literally going to shut down. Oh, you see young Pharaoh once again saying, crack the gate. And when he really
yeah.
It's our return, so it's gonna be lit.
And shout out YP, because I honestly feel like that's like really, like, ever since Tony X said this, I'm like, that is true. He called young Pharaoh Thoth, and I promise you that has never left my head. I really feel like he's here to lead. And most people who are born leaders don't want to lead. And for more than half of his start, he kept saying, I'm not a leader. But, everybody's chosen for their role, whether they want to be or not.
And he is, like, he does carry the incarnation though, because we know that's correlated to Mercury, and that's on his sun. So that's really interesting. He'd be breaking it down. And yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised. I'm pretty sure there's some influences that before you would have shuddered to think that you can even hold space with them. You are going to be the one who defeats them. That's the best part. And it's just gonna be right. It's going to be dope. But it is definitely war. It's a war being fought right now. So the war you're fighting is to maintain integrity. And that's what a lot of people don't get. Some people don't realize that bowing down to false authority is worse than death. And so this is a fight you fight for your life. You feel me? It's not like sparking riots, but it's getting ready to maintain integrity, because once you give up that integrity, you're already dead. So, this is what's going to really separate.
I'm guessing you're a 90s kid, right?
1990, yeah.
Okay, I was born in 92. I asked you that because I always try to remind the older generation that our generation literally have been living through trauma after trauma after trauma. We are the only generation who has not had a peace period.
That's facts.
Ever. It's either a health crisis, a terrorist attack, a financial fucking bubble burst. It's just always. We have never been through a good period,
right?
Ever.
Yeah, that's crazy, and that's so Pluto Scorpio. It's just so chaotic, right? And out, I feel like 91, 92, y'all have that the most intense because y'all got Saturn and Aqua squared at, and it's like y'all have the most extreme Saturn return, but it's going to push the envelope forward in the knowledge and how occult knowledge and
I definitely feel like I've been in my Phoenix state, death and rebirth, all just constantly. Like I'm constantly reinventing myself psychologically, physically, mentally, everything, like for sure. So what do you oh no, I'm gonna ask this first. Today is 11/11, very divine portal, but I personally feel like the energy has been kind of weak, and I've been talking to other people and they kind of feel like it's been weak. Does that energy feel weak to you, or is it just perspective wise?
No, actually, that's a really good question. I would think maybe it's weak now because we're in a balsamic phase. So it makes sense because the moon is closing out a cycle and it's like releasing it. So there's deeper wisdom to that. Like maybe it's a calm before the storm energy, but right now we're getting ready to start a brand new cycle of transformation. And this is the part of the Great Awakening where a year's worth of activation you've come into since March of 2020, you're finally going to start to transform into that. This new moon Scorpio leads into an ascension cycle. Like we literally flare up abilities and activate it again in Capricorn, and we come in there. So I feel like today and tomorrow is very key into that. Kobe said it's like a slingshot, and it definitely expect for a lot to shift unexpectedly. And yeah, Sagittarius season, everything's gonna come to light. All this shady, dark stuff. Which is why I hate, like, water is purity. And so I feel like a lot of why we're here is to rescue water, because water in its surroundings takes its surroundings, and
right.
all the dark deception, you have to distort water to do that. So that's disrespecting Scorpio, that's disrespecting Pisces. All that's going to come out into light Sagittarius season. It's going to get very rowdy.
Man, I don't see how people are awake now. We got a president's son snorting coke with a ex-president's daughter. Like how much more evidence of it's not a conspiracy theory anymore.
But CNN will still fact check it, and so people believe what they want to believe. It's not a conspiracy. Like, this is facts. Like, you can see that. And the thing is, like, let's just be real. If Donald Trump Jr. did that with somebody else, like,
it would have been on CNN.
Right. If Donald Trump was friends with a KKK member, they're accusing this guy of supporting white supremacy when he denounced it multiple times. But then you have someone who was literally friends and gave the eulogy of a KKK member.
Yeah.
And then you can't say, oh, why are you bringing up his past? You bring up Trump's past. So it's like, ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It is such a one-sided narrative. It's just like how y'all can't see this. Like y'all, that's why I love the notion of free will, because you are literally willfully blinding yourself at this point. And so whatever consequence you get, that's on you. Like, you can't blame the ancestors, the creator, God, the universe, whatever base you believe in. At this point in time, at this moment in history, the blame is on you, whether positive or negative. The blame is on you.
And it's life or death. For example, if you're believing in false narratives, you will get killed. That's Saturn and Pluto. If you're listening to the fake news media tell you go out there and protest, and then you go out there and then you get shot, you listen to a false narrative. That's why it's so important to really be aligned with truth. That doesn't mean you shouldn't go out there. You can read that and go, but it's the perception of what you're believing in. That's what's going to lead you in the right direction. And it's life or death, y'all. Pluto's involved, so you can't not be out of integrity. It will kill you. It will kill you. So
go ahead and get that vaccine if you want to. Kiki has a question. Kiki Akhenaten says, any advice on what to prepare for, what to look out for, and how to get ready?
Great question. So what to prepare for is the second phase of war. This year was a beta test. Everything you saw happen this year, times that by 5, that's next year. So just prepare to draw on your inner strength. Prepare your mind with fasting and prepare for victory. Because even though it's going to get crazy, this is your victory. Prepare for revolution and prepare to connect with your soul tribe in a way you couldn't before. What to expect is a whole bunch of hidden information coming out to light. We very well may have every classified document declassified just because. And most importantly, prepare for the God within you to awaken like never before. And this is going to open up options that you may not have known before because you're still completing this awakening process. So yeah, prepare to really gain the treasure that is you, because after you awaken the God within, 2021 is getting to know that God and really manifesting its presence.
I love it. When you first got into astrology, did you think you would get this far? Like, did you know that, like, this is what I'm destined for? Because I feel like this is your purpose, like, real talk.
Oh yeah. I had no idea it was going to look like this. I didn't know at the time what I could do. I was just so passionate. I was like, I need to come into all this knowledge. All I felt was, I'm just going to read charts and come into the knowledge. But I had if you told me that first of all, I remember getting a tarot reading for the first time around then. And I told someone I wanted to get into this path. And he was like, no, you can't make a living doing stuff like this. You want to actually, grab yourself a real job. So if you were to tell me that I would make a living doing this, I'd be like, yeah, that's what I want. But I would have no idea. And that's why I shout out to the Leo King. Because I feel like the Leo King is one of those people pushing forward what we can accomplish mainstream and to push that envelope. And like, I've seen some really good money doing what I do. It's not about the money, but as a businessman, I think about the potential of growth, looking at this as an economy, looking at this as a field. And, as an industry, this is an untapped gold mine that everyone can eat in if you bring your own uniqueness to the craft and not just regurgitate stuff. So There's so much more I can do with this. And it wasn't until the last couple of years I realized. When I first started, I had no idea I could even do what I'm doing. So, because before I wanted to be a rapper. Like, and again, that's what my friends are saying. They're like, yo, you're YouTube's boy. You should put the music down and like focus more on that. But I was just like so passionate with the music. Yeah. And now I found a way I can incorporate music into what I do. And it's like my dream come true.
I feel it. That's fire. That's fire. Yeah. I asked you that because I didn't think I'd be an internet teacher either, like or doing what I'm doing now. But I just know that people always used to tell me that I think I'm somebody's daddy, and I'm always trying to tell somebody what to do. So that like that, I always had that quality. So I was wondering, like, what parts of you, like when you first started into astrology, like, yeah, this is what the fuck I'm supposed to do. So yeah, that's why I asked you. That's why I asked you that. Last question, and then you can speak to the audience, or if anybody in the audience have any questions, or for the peace dealer, because we're coming up to an hour. So this is my last question, and you kind of already answered it a little bit, but I'll say this: astrologically, what year do you think that this awakening ends, and then we start making it the norm?
Oh, such a great question. Such a great question. Technically, it started 2018, 2019, but just more in a perceptual way. 2018 to 2019 was meant to show you, hey, this is the direction you want to go into. 2020 is now putting in that work from 2018 to 2020 to actually make it real. So I believe, because we're going to break through before this, but I believe 2024 is that sweet spot. 2023, once Saturn goes into Pisces and Pluto goes into Aqua, is the end of that first phase. It's the complete end of the system as we know it. And now the revolution is to take our collective knowledge and manifest a more updated system. It's definitely going to be a lot more technocratic. And this is where we'll start to see technologically augmented devices to facilitate greater spirituality and energy management and life force control. But I believe 2023, 2024 into 2025, once we have Pluto and Aqua and Neptune and Saturn and Aries, is when we finish that first phase. Because Pluto's in Capricorn, Neptune's in Pisces, and Uranus is in Taurus. That's a more physiological awakening of psychological mechanisms within. So once Pluto's in Aqua, and then Neptune's in Aries, and then Uranus is in Gemini coming into 2025 to 2027, we've manifested that, and now we're doing jutsus, and like we're saying things, and that's a lot of hardcore decade-long integration of physiological responses,
Yeah.
which doesn't happen overnight, but it's a really good question you ask because we're coming into it. The end of this decade alone, we could say the end of this year coming into next year, really. But so I'll say that, and then again, 2023, 2024.
Okay. Well, I don't have any more questions for you. Does anybody in the comments have any questions for the peace dealer? This is your time to ask. I'm going to show your website on the screen, and while they're seeing if they want to ask you a question, you can kind of talk about your website and the things that you offer.
For sure. Shout out to y'all in the live chat, by the way. Thank y'all for holding me down, whether you're watching this live or after. My website, I actually have a mega sale right now. So if you hit up my reports, my consultations, all my reports are $50. My consultations are $100 until February, and then they'll go back up to the usually hourly rate. So for consultations, you can meet with me live over the phone or on Zoom if you're overseas or Skype. And then reports I will record and then email to you. And I have synastry reports, I have astral reports. I always recommend if it's your first time, get a natal report. We'll look into your astral makeup. Then I also have progress chart reports and transit forecasts to look into the months ahead. And I also got some merch. So holla at me if you want me more close and personal. I have a monthly package where I'll have 3 consultations a week. I highly recommend that if you're super serious about taking this to the next level. Your life will change in that month. And it's on sale too until February. I think a month will be like around 2 racks or so, and the first time you can get it half off. So yeah, definitely if you're getting your feet wet and you're new to this, get a natal chart report If you're more into this and you've already had that, I recommend getting your Saturn return, your solar return, your progress chart, and yeah.
Alrighty, well, I want to do something special. My spirit is telling me to go ahead and do this for the one time. Okay. Anybody in the chat, put your Cash App name in the chat, and I will donate $11 in celebration of the 11/11 portal to your Cash App. Put your Cash App in the chat. You got 5 minutes to do this because then it'll be 111. So put your Cash App in the chat, and I will pick a random and send out $11.
That's awesome. I'll send $11 too, so it'll be 22.
That's fire. And 1122 is an angel number. If you don't know, look that up on Google.
1111.
Indeed. And that website was www.thepeacedealer.com. Like I said, you got 5 minutes to put your Cash App in the chat area or whatever. And yeah, my spirit is saying go ahead and throw that one time for the one time. And we definitely got to do this again, man. I appreciate your energy. You feel me? Like,
I'd like to invite you to my channel for a peace talk. That would be dope.
Okay, I see them Cash Apps rolling. All right. I need a few more. Hey, okay. The time is rolling. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to hit it on the 11/11. I'm gonna stop the broadcast, but y'all gonna, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm gonna wait. Until when y'all get the cash, whoever I send it to, when y'all get it, y'all let the chat know that y'all received y'all 11/11 portal gift on the Who Asked You podcast. So I want you to make sure that you subscribe to this channel, trying to get to that 1K. You feel me? And y'all need to support the bro, the peace dealer. You're not going to get astrological knowledge at the perfection that he gives it from anywhere else. So you might as well just go ahead and subscribe. And if you already subscribed, make sure you tell somebody else to subscribe. Okay? Do that. It takes 10 seconds. It takes less time than it's taken it to be 110.
Shoot. I got my Cash App open.
Yeah, me too. Look, y'all, just so y'all know I'm not BSing. Hold on. Well, y'all see the green screen. It ain't going. I got it open right now. See, his camera better than mine. But yeah, it's open, waiting.
In fact, you get $11.11.
Yo, see, now I gotta do that too. Look. 2222.
Bet.
Matter of fact, Peace, you pick one person and I'll pick one person.
Bet.
You can do it like that.
Okay. Thank you, Earth Goddess. Shoot, I'll pick Earth Goddess. Earth Goddess Candles 00. Oh, you know what? I don't think I spelled it right.
Can you see? I'm scrolling her. I don't know if you can still see it.
I see hers, but I don't know if I don't see it pop up when I type it in. Gosh, okay. I see 00. Maybe it's just 00. Yeah, no, I actually don't see it. Let's see.
All righty. I've
Well,
sent mine. I sent out two. I sent out two because I'm a I sent out two.
Who did you send it to? I want to make sure I don't send it to the same, but I'm gonna send it to.
I sent it to Kiki Akhenaten and Samantha
Sweet.
Rip Kima. Congratulations, y'all won the 1111 portal.
Yeah, I'm gonna Earth Goddess Candles is not showing up, so I'm gonna try.
It's Earth is $ Earth Goddess Candles.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm typing in, but well, let me try without the $. Maybe that's why. You usually have to put the $, right? Yeah, name or hashtag. Let me try the God.
Hey, that's facts, yo. Kobe, you funny. Trying to do something nice in technology is just like, nah, fam, you good. Right.
Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, okay. Goddess things. I got you. The goddess effect. Boom. All right.
Oh, while we're doing this, I will be postponing all future lectures because I'm trying to get a actual syllabus and things going on to where it could be better accessible and we won't have a mishap like my very first live lecture. So just be patient with that, and I'm going to actually have like a classroom and have a schedule. Everything is going to be really dope, and I promise you, I'm not abandoning my channel. I'll still do my Wild World reviews, still do interviews and things of that nature, and I will actually preview the lectures on this channel, but I'm ready to take it to the next step, and I'm actually going to have it's really dope. It's really dope. So be on the lookout for that, and it's going to be affordable. Trust me, I'm not going to break your pockets or nothing like that.
Awesome.
Hey, okay, so we got another winner in the building.
2 zeros. Yeah, let me see if I can. Earth.
I'm gonna end this with a dope song too.
Cool.
Like I always do. Is there any last? I don't mean to say it like that, but
yeah, nothing comes up.
Oh wow. Hold on. Dang. Cause I got. You know what I'm gonna do? Cause I got it though. Okay. I'm gonna send it to her for you, but this is from the Peace Dealer. So you thank him, don't thank me.
Bet.
I'm donating through him. No, he's donating through me.
Word.
I was about to say they really hating on you. They do not want to give you this.
Seriously? They going through for you?
Yeah, I sent it to her. Yeah. But yeah, I want to thank each and every one of you who watched this live, who's going to watch this later, and who's decided to skip. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Peace Dealer, is there any last words you would like to say before we head out of here and I play a song as we head out?
Just continue to be great. Fight the good fight, and don't be afraid to stand up for what you believe in, even if everyone fact checks you to believe otherwise. Boom.
That's facts. You can go ahead and peace out. I'm gonna text you my number and everything, and I really want to have that conversation about mystery schools. I think we really need to do that.
Yeah, too. It'll be lit. It'll be dope.
Yes, sir. And Earth Goddess says thank you.
Awesome. Appreciate you, Earth Goddess. Appreciate you.
Hopefully you are getting it from him because he is very dope. And I'm actually going to get my natal chart broken down from Peace Dealer soon too as well. So okay. So yeah, subscribe, and yeah, that's how we doing it. That's how we doing it. I'm about to find the song. Y'all know how I do. Be on the lookout for Just Vibes Volume 14. It's been a little minute since I've done one of those, so we're going to get that popping. Y'all know me. I'm very biased when it comes to music, and I got another Fire King Cassius song that just dropped not too long ago. Thank you. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody's energy. That's facts. A Street. I hope that always happens. That's why I do it, and I feel highly grateful for Peace Dealer taking the time out, to grace this channel. All right. Well, the universe said no. I don't know what's going on, but y'all know I'm gonna just leave it how I usually do. With love and light. Peace.